You all presented what happened to the masked lords of Waterdeep, and some of you did well, and some of you did okay, and then you all split up and did separate things for the 5 days that you were stuck in Waterdeep and couldn't really do anything except theoretically self-improvement. And some of you did, and some of you didn't, and it's fine. Um, and the
Wow, is that it? Jeez.
That is.
It's shady.
What was I gonna say?
Fight,
That is
Sarah?
some grade A passive aggressiveness right there.
The problem is, I don't even know who you're talking about who didn't do self-improvement and who did. Like, what qualifies in this
Exactly.
case?
Mental torpedo.
Everyone's going to the Fortress of Misery today. Anyway, a few of you went and worked on construction and rebuilding of the house. Faye made a friend. Zira got a little bit more of an understanding of why and who she is wanted by. And Valor helped teach Bright Pepsi to read. Arix helped construct the Warrens. Pete got to talk with his spirit guide, I guess. His pen pal, yes. I love that. That is what happened. And you also got some information from scrying and other resources for where you guys wanted to go next, the Trollbark Forest. And one of the things that Razik had asked about was a safe location to return to in the event that, you guys become imperiled and need somewhere to go. Now, I believe what you asked Adam was about the property that got blown up, but that property still actually belongs to the Phylan household.
Yeah, Razik don't.
Right. So what I'm saying is like that's completely off the table. But I have some other options at various prices for you. Also, you technically can be granted access to the demiplane location that, like, the animal pits. But that would require either like a moving of that portal and that teleportation circle, which would cost a little bit more money. But there's also like these fun houses I put together for you. Don't ask me why I spent so long doing this. I don't know the answer to that question. Okay. So we've got this one. That's really big and really expensive. Big old manor house. And then this one, which is which one was this one? This one is no, what is that one? That one's not the library. That one is a commons, like a public building that is in misuse and can be, turned into living quarters. There is this one, which is straight up a house. There is this one, which is a no longer used temple, an out of use temple. That's the phrasing. And then, oh wait, no, the one that I couldn't remember, is that one the? No, it's not. I don't know why I keep going back and forth on that. And there's this one, which is this is the one that's the house, and then this one up here is an old library. Can you guys see any of this or no?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Perfect.
Yes.
So there's the manor. There is a public space house, and then an old library, a temple, and then a house. And truthfully, you don't have to take any of these, but thought I'd put this together for fun.
I'm gonna guess that Razik probably doesn't want to go with Old Temple, but I am digging this one with a basement, no pun intended.
Figured you might.
Although, you know what, this mansion is it's pretty fucking dope. That's all.
Yeah, I
I'm
was gonna say
throwing
the
that out
mansion
there.
is.
I can make a
fucking
basement.
rad.
That'll be fine.
It does look like there is a basement level on the. Oh no, that's the second floor. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's stairs that go down, but
Although
We
I
might
suppose price does sort of factor into this.
So the manor is 20,000 gold. And all of these other locations, because they are either public spaces that are no longer in use or the equivalent of a house, they are 5,000 apiece.
Faye, how much platinum did I give you last time? Do you remember what I gave you?
You said you would pitch in like 700 gold or something? It's in chat. Let me find it.
Because 20,000 gold for that manor is oof.
Yeah.
Maybe when we come back.
Oh, and the cost of basically the relocation for the demiplane, so you could still use it, would end up being 3,000 if that's something that you're interested in. But again, it's kind of like a small enclosed space that does have a lot of animal in it.
They didn't remove the.
Well, the animals are gone. The presence of the animals that will linger.
I wondered how they dealt with the smell in a pocket place.
They didn't.
The whole place just smelled
yeah,
like
it's not
shit
like you can open
constantly.
a window or anything.
Right.
Although that
Open
would
a
be pretty
small
great.
opening to the elemental plane of air, and you have fresh air constantly.
80 platinum. You paid me 80 platinum last time. You didn't ever give me a specific number, so I just contributed 80.
Okay.
So what are you guys thinking? You interested in doing this now? Do you want to wait? Do you want to think about it? Or or is this something that's just genuinely not particularly necessary for you guys?
Faye wants interdimensional real estate.
Yeah, I
See,
think
I don't
Razik's
know.
interest was, by his understanding, which was both limited and 100% incorrect. He's like, oh, we killed the people who used to live there. I guess no one lives there. Give it
Right
to
of
us.
conquest.
Right. and as soon as that turns out not to be the case, he's onto something else in his head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably if we make it back to Waterdeep, then we can investigate this. Unless some of the rich
Right.
people want to like set it up so that one of these places gets renovated for us.
Sorry, one of the rich people? There is only one rich person here, I think.
Look
Oh,
at it.
Oryx actually has quite a bit of money.
Oh,
And it's
right.
Oryx. Yes, I am no longer rich.
My money is like one shot, though. It's not like income.
Liquidity.
It's cash on hand, not. Like, if there's property taxes, we're fucked. House goes into arrears and we're out on our ass.
That's fair. I do have
So it
like
sounds like we'll
8,000.
revisit it on our next trip to Waterdeep.
Cool. All right.
I guess the more important question is which one of these is closest to the Kobold Warrens? If Oryx is the money pants now.
I mean, all of these are within, like, the North Ward, truthfully. So, realistically, they're close-ish. Yeah.
Close with air quotes.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you guys want a place in the fields ward, that's an option, but that's not like if you guys are planning on doing property investment, that's maybe not the place to start.
Luke, you're really into property sim.
I will not be playing that game.
You don't want a D&D House Hunters?
I don't, which is why I made 5 houses and put them all on one map and said pick one. Either way, if you want, I can even like do a big screen cap of that map so you guys can look at it later and think about it some more. But otherwise, what are your guys' plans now that you have the freedom to leave the city?
Road trip.
How does Faye present this idea?
As a road trip.
So you're lying.
Kind of. It's branding. It's a rebranded opportunity.
Jeez.
I'm hearing lying.
The real question that Oryx will have is simply time. We know that something's going down full moon. If we're going to be back by then, or you're going to be back by then. Wait, are we all going, or is it just the two of you?
I mean, you're welcome to come, but it's kind of like, it's like a religious experience thing. So I'm pretty sure Razak is out, and it's in the internal plane of, Ash and Shadow. So not exactly a cheery place to hang out. I guess you guys. It doesn't say you have to be a devout to undergo the trial. If anyone wants to just fucking throw their hat in the ring.
If we go, do we have to do the trial?
I mean, you could stand outside and wait for the monsters to eat you.
Perfect.
Of what benefit is the trial?
Unclear.
What do you receive for completing it?
Unclear.
Yeah,
Clarity.
This is a really
What is it?
hard sell here.
It is clarity you seek.
Yes.
Is clarity what you receive?
An ultimate truth. And the answer to what you receive. So 2 forms of clarity.
Should I undergo this trial?
That's for you to decide.
I lack clarity.
Oh,
I mean-
I can help you with that.
How?
Well, you tell me about what you can about the master and his son, and I'll see what I can learn about them to help give you clarity.
How will you know more than I know?
In all fairness, Vala, you don't seem to know much.
The Raven Queen apparently guards many of the multiverse's greatest secrets, so, maybe that's in there?
What are the risks involved?
I believe either madness or an eternity within the Fortress of Misery, which, I mean, the two could be essentially equated.
I understand less and less why you want to do
Then
this.
why are you risking it?
Clarity.
I'm not sure the payoff seems worth it.
You're entitled to that opinion.
Yeah, even at this point, Zira is probably just like looking at you very like concerned, but just has her hands on her hips like, if I wasn't a part of this, I wouldn't go, but I have nothing to lose, so take that with what you will.
Except an eternity spent in misery.
Oh no, right. That's probably my fate anyways. what are a few decades off of that?
We're in
right?
too deep.
So you are advising none of the rest of us to join.
Oh no, not at all.
I
mean,
think, I mean, Valor might be able to gain something meaningful out of the experience, but
yes,
well.
I'd say Valor might be the only one who might gain something.
Oh, we could
out of
all
going.
we could all absolutely gain something out of this experience. We're talking about a creature that guards the greatest secrets in the multiverse. That kind of knowledge is worth killing for.
Yes, you see, Faye values knowledge over her life and certainly over all of ours.
Zira sours at that and kind of scratches her head. Yeah, does seem that way.
Why will this quest not wait? I am interested in accompanying you, but perhaps after we complete our mission.
Now feels like a good time.
Why?
I shrug.
I feel like the smart person answer was time works differently there. I was expecting something like that instead of now feels right. But
Now does feel right.
does time also work differently there?
If I die to a werewolf, I won't learn the ultimate truths of the multiverse. So now feels right.
You are not allowed to do it once you have died, even though you say you are
That is-
going there once you have died.
Oh, that is correct. It's not entirely guaranteed on my end. I don't know if I'm kind of high up enough in the company ladder yet. But yeah, no, absolutely not. No. This is a trial that needs to be conducted while you're mortal.
I do not know that I am mortal.
You are.
Define mortal.
You have a soul and you can die.
I am not sure if I can die.
I am fairly
that's the
certain you
one
can
you
die.
I was actually expecting I don't have a soul, but I guess we're full of surprises today.
I also perhaps do not have a soul.
Then perhaps you will be turned away. You won't know until you try.
The question, though, is, am I integral to this mission?
You are not.
No,
The
to
question
the mission
is,
of...
why is this distracting us when we know there is an event at the next full moon?
That is.
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
That is 17 days from now. This quest will either take me a few hours or a lifetime. Either way, it's worth chancing, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, bye. Hope you don't die.
If
Thank you, Resik.
if you return, may I undergo this trial at a later time?
Yeah?
There may come a time when I undergo this trial, but for now, I am required here, and I have made promises to the boy prophet. This is risky. I want answers, but I will live a very long time.
Understandable.
Try not to die.
Do my best.
How long should we wait?
We're not going to. We'll start and catch up.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Do you have preferences on funeral rites?
No need.
If they die their valor, there's nothing we can do anyway.
Symbolic gestures. Very important to you, I have found.
Not to me.
If you die, will the angry baby remain?
Oh heavens, no.
Presumably, he'll be recalled.
Well, good luck. I wish I could protect you there, but I cannot. I hope you find something.
Something is perhaps the best thing we could hope to find.
Gosh, you are not making me confident. Hey, by the way, if I don't make it back, she did it. I point at Faye.
Do you have anything of use on you to our mission that you would leave here?
I gave you the circle of the bond, correct? Other than that, I don't think so.
Nothing I'm not taking with me.
Yeah, at this
Oh,
point, like,
actually, I do have 5 circles of the bond, which I will produce.
yeah, at this point, Valor is turned entirely toward.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you're the one hoarding all of the shit. Valor will turn towards like Oryx, basically just waiting for Oryx's response, since Oryx is kind of the leader. Ostensibly.
Ted just stepped away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. You're all ready to go?
Oh shit.
I am right there with you, Cody. Holy shit!
I
want to go.
I almost managed to like. I didn't want Valor to go, but there was a flicker there for a moment.
Yeah, I know there was.
Yeah.
Trust
There's like
me,
a-
if Zero doesn't want to go, you don't want to go.
Yeah,
It's an enticing offer to learn whatever you want. The most
That's-
core universal truths
Uh-huh.
to you.
yeah, that was a pretty bit. That's part of what Valor's like. I'd like to do it later.
What about Pete?
Oh.
He. I at first thought he might want to go, or at least like kind of help out, but then I remembered it's in the Shadowfell, and he's not doing anything with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Faye? Do you pull out the amulet?
Yeah, I'm wearing it, dog.
Alright. You produce the amulet, you spin the wheels in it, and you focus on the idea of the Fortress of Misery. Can you make me an intelligence saving throw?
Please get us there in one piece, Lily.
Is it a saving throw?
Let's find out. It might just be a check now that I'm
I think
thinking
it might
about
be a check.
check. Yep.
I got perfectly good guidance for this.
I swear to Jeebus, you better use it.
How do you like the city of brass?
Yeah, right? That's literally the worst case scenario.
No,
Nice.
it's not.
It's not.
It isn't.
We could be in the negative plane of energy and instantly disintegrate it.
You know, that's better than being like a slave for the rest of your mortal life.
Oh, disagree.
Ah!
Hard disagree. Being ripped asunder molecularly would be a fucking horrifying experience.
I mean, nerves are bigger than molecules, so you probably wouldn't feel it.
Exactly. See, you know what
That
I'm
is
talking
a
about, Doug.
good point.
Yeah,
That
but
is
you
a good point.
Doug?
you
That is
fuck up.
horrifying.
It's not horrifying.
He's not
it's
wrong
true.
though.
My bad.
He's not wrong.
It would be a situation where you'd fuck up and then you'd never know that you fucked up because you'd just be dead.
Nope. You just cease to exist.
That seems like
Yeah,
best
that
case.
sounds way better than slavery.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Throwing
Not
that out there.
not only just regular indentured servant. You're working for like fire genie, like Ifrit.
Yeah, fire slavery. It's fire slavery.
It's worse. It's so bad. I don't want to go to the city of brass, guys.
Well, you're not going to the City of Brass. You're going to a place called the Fortress of Misery.
That's so much better.
We're gonna
It
go
is-
voluntarily subject ourselves to the worst kind of sorrow that exists in the multiverse instead.
It is entirely dark here. Faye and Zira, you have both been granted blessing by the master of this plane, and so you can see better than anyone else would be able to see here. But that doesn't change the fact that this place is only in black and white, and in fact, very little white. It is just gray. It is mottled, muddy, murky, and everything that you have, everything that you almost immediately forget the concept of color being here. Faye, your armor just turns into its activated form just by being here, and Zira, you feel cold. There are no trees, there's no wind, there's no water, there is hardly sound. The earth is hard and sparse. There's dry grass in patches. There is just in front of you this incredible 20-foot tall wall of stone. The grout that holds each brick in place looks tacky and soft, and getting even a tiny bit closer, you see that this is the only color that exists here, and it is a dark, sticky red that is holding these bricks together. And then you smell dust and decay. And right in front of you is an opening in this wall. The path immediately splits into two directions, to the right and to the left. And above the walls, on a hill, you can see a castle with sharp black spires and white windows and circling birds and creatures roosting on every ledge. The castle looks very far away. Where do you go?
There are like no markings at the fork.
Nope.
No signs, no nothing.
I'd like to pray for guidance, like I did with the dragon.
How do you prepare yourself for prayer? How do you position yourself?
I think I've started kneeling.
Okay.
I think after I visited the church, I remembered what it was like to pray. And gnomes do it differently, obviously. But I think she started showing it more reverence as it becomes a more serious part of her life. So she kneels down in the way where you sit on your feet. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And just holds out her hands and looks down at the armor that she forged and focuses in on the tips of the fingers where it looks nasty and evil, and just begins to focus.
And the prompt that comes to you nearly the moment that you find that focus is to just enter.
I stand and I enter.
Do you go left or do you go right?
Left.
All right, Zira, what do you do?
I kind of look at the fork for a moment, see Faye kneeling, and I just cock my hips, put a hand on there, and snap and summon Scrunky. Sorry, Kreet. Does he come to me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey.
Hi.
Well, this looks familiar to you, right?
Professionally?
Yes.
Yes.
Then, which way?
You're supposed to pick one.
Oh. Well, which way looks best to you? If you were to give your professional opinion.
He looks at the entrance. He looks at the entrance and then turns around facing the opposite direction and points that way.
Ha ha, very funny. Alright,
Listen, I'm already living in my hell.
well. Then you wanna split off ways there? Wanna go take one way, I take the other? Or take
Oh,
the
sister,
other?
it's not gonna work like that.
You pick whatever one you want. It's a religious experience, June. Pick the one you want to pick.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't want to pick either one, but right seems I'm going to enter. And then take the right path.
Alright, and Faye, you said left, yeah?
That is correct.
Alright. You two immediately split up. And Faye, the moment you have found yourself with a direction, you feel your vision dim and it retreats back to how you have always recognized it to be ordinarily prior to your sworn allegiance, and then continue to dim until there is nothing to see, and then a footstep and you begin to fall, and then you are just drifting through space, and then you feel like you are picking up speed, and there is wind that begins to pull at you and snag, and you are free falling, which isn't particularly terrifying. And then you understand that there is going to be a drop and a stop at the bottom. And there's not really any reason to brace for it, because there's not really anything you can do about it unless you try to. Would you like to try anything?
I think I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah.
I have feather fall, but I think I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, I figured. You don't feel an impact, but you feel something different. You feel that you are in a different body, a different place. There is warm sunlight. There is water around you that is thick and murky and just feels dense. You open your eyes and you see that you are underwater, and it is green, and there are creatures in the water with you, and you feel different because your body is different. You see green scales on your arms and sharp claws at your hands, and you feel the weight of a tail. You feel thinner and taller. You feel very different. You feel instincts pick up, and you smell and feel the water shifting around you, and your jaws open and then snap shut around what you know is a fish. And there is a sense of pride that comes with knowing that this is what you were here to do, and you've managed to do that, which is catch a fish. And you go above water, and you are in a clearing in a very dense, swampy area where there is like some packed dry earth and some shelters that have been constructed, and thick trees and bugs and folk who look like you around and talking with one another in a language you understand but feels less familiar to Faye. And and you feel that you are smiling, and there is pride and excitement in your accomplishment that is mirrored in the lizard folk who are around you and see that you have been successful. And you feel these creatures around you, these people are much taller than you and hold your respect and your admiration and care very deeply for your safety, and you feel at home until there is the breaking sound of trees being plowed over and being uprooted and destroyed, and the terrifying sound of an overwhelming floodwater sweeping through the clearing and snatching up everything and everyone around you, and then catching you. And there is nothing that your tiny body that has spent so much time in the water is capable of doing to save yourself. You hear your name being called out, and you hear other people calling out for each other, and you don't see anyone or anything except this sweeping white water. And there is a flashing moment where you manage to breach the surface, and you can see someone with their claws out to you, and the most genuine and true expression of fear that you have ever seen in anyone's face crosses their eyes as they reach out for you, and you see your tiny little claws reaching out as well before another surge of water throws you under. And it is only by instincts that you remember to hold your breath and keep from drowning, and every muscle in your body is fighting to move upwards and to find air and to find land and to find something to hold on to, and you can't. It is the most disgustingly helpless you have ever felt in your existence. And that memory fades. And then you go through days and days, real time, Faye, real time of finding yourself eventually washed up on drier land away from some water, and the water eventually recedes, and you are so exhausted, your body burns, and you're starving. And days and days and days, weeks go by of struggling to find anything that you can eat, anything that you can catch, but you are still very much a child who is lost and alone and doesn't have the guidance of the elders who could teach you and guide you the way you needed to be at this age. That forces you to be a grown-up, and you can't. You are not strong enough to feed yourself. You are not healthy enough or knowledgeable enough. And there are nights where you lie on the ground, curled up as small as you can be, praying that some other creature bigger than you doesn't find you in the night. And it is only by sheer exhaustion that you are allowed to and forced to sleep. And then there is a day where you find a creature that is a little bit bigger than you, broader certainly, but not muscular, fatty, and it chitters and speaks sort of, but it's hard to know if it's actually speaking. You don't know what is happening. It is just making non-animal noises with its mouth. And the days and days of starvation catch up with you, and this is your one chance to find something to eat. And animal instincts take you through the brush and behind this creature and to its throat, and you taste blood, and you feel, for the first time in ages, a satisfaction, pride, and then also a full belly. And shortly after that, there is the sound of another creature through the brush, making the same sounds as the creature that you had just devoured. And when it finally breaches the tree line, you are still kind of in a bit of a haze because this has been, again, the first proper meal in days. It immediately shrieks in a voice that echoes in the trees and sends you into a panic. And again, instincts are the only thing that save you as you begin to run and run and run and run. But this thing is bigger than you with longer legs, and there are things that are with it that are equally matched in size, and you are caught, and you cannot understand what they are screaming about and yelling about around you. And then there is another creature there that is, for all intents and purposes, fairly similar in appearance to yourself, but has a brightly colored skin and has no tail, no frills, just horns, that manages to speak to you in a way that you can understand. And he saves your life. And you realize that as he explains in some passing way that what you have done is horrifically wrong, and that if the others had their way, you would be dead. And you spend days with this person, with this Dragonborn, who begins to teach you about what you come to understand as the life spark, which is the identity that is the core of living creatures, and that some are stronger than others, and those who have a stronger light within them have dominion in a lot of ways over those with lesser light, but also need to show and prove respect to those with matching light. And a lot of time passes, and I can't stress this enough, you are experiencing this as it is happening within a real time. And eventually, you are encouraged, after some moons, that you should continue with on your own way, because as much as they can teach you, you don't belong here. And you end up drifting along until you find another tribe of creatures that you can now understand have that significantly brighter life force. These ones don't have fur or scales, but these ones have, soft pink skin. And after much confusion and attempted explanation and proving that you are not, in their eyes, dangerous, they invite you in for some time, but they give you very strict rules. And in some way, there is an intuition to understand that these rules are a test. If you can be trusted with the sheep, you can be trusted with the children. If you can be trusted with the children, you can be trusted in the tribe. And it takes so much time to prove that you are trustworthy. And it is in no way something that you truly care to prove except to provide yourself safety. And this disconnect is noticed. And eventually the leader of the tribe explains to you that this separation between what you want and what everyone else needs is a little insurmountable, and you are once again asked to leave. But before you are told about a place where they don't care about where you've come from as long as you prove that you are not a fit. And you have proven that that is not something that you are. And time, moons, seasons change and pass and move, and you see the cycle of life within inches of your face, and you participate. And you track those lights and those spirits and that spark that you have been taught about, and do everything within your own power to keep yours alight and to not harm beyond necessity, until you eventually come to Taymorden, where there are people who are confused and scared of you, and people who are understanding of you. And the one thing that has hit like a train every time you are brought to a new tribe is confusion, is not understanding where it is everyone else's intentions lie, and why so many of them do not truly believe in the good of the whole, and why some people are so intent on selfish benefit and on personal growth and development rather than investing in the community and with their family and the people they care about. And the dismissal of all that you have gained as information and as knowledge, and the promise that you have, that you represent, of survival. And it's hard. And then you move through the days and then weeks and then moons that has been your time with this party. And you you live through that time where your trust was so shattered by the people you had invested everything in that you don't even feel safe sleeping near them. And again, you are brought back to the memories of those times where you were alone as a child by yourself with nothing, starving and alone, and praying to some force that could possibly protect you, knowing that nothing is looking at you and nothing ever will, and you don't want to be seen by anything, that something does not destroy you while you are helpless and asleep. Okay. Pete, Oryx, Razik, and Valor. What are you guys all doing?
We were gonna try to get a teleportation, right? At least part of the way to the forest. I vaguely recall.
Yeah, is everybody ready to go, or does anyone need to make preparations before we head out?
I'm good now.
I am also good.
I have everything I need to take with me, I think.
All right, then let's go.
No, sorry, Ted, what was that last little bit?
I have the other sending stone.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I've got to be more careful in my voice. I'm gonna end up destroying it tonight. Okay. All right. You all go towards the castle ward, where you can where you find your designated lift, more or less. Are you intending on going to Eastwall, the city, or to the forest itself? east wall is the city outside the Trollbark. And then there's also the possibility of teleporting straight to the Claude Hood settlement within the Trollbark Forest. What would you like to do?
I think showing up in the midst of their city would probably be
Yeah, that'd be a bad look.
rude. Yeah. Plus, if they are in fact staunch allies of Decanter, we would be stranding ourselves right in their front yard.
So to the city?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't want to teleport right into the middle of their encampment. I would say probably somewhere outside of the city, you know, maybe give us a half day, a day's trek into the city. We can just be travelers. You know, we might be able to pick up some information from people in the city about these fools, since they're clearly looked upon as a positive force, since they're keeping the troll population down.
Okay. Alright, that can easily be done. You all, you know, you make this known, you make this plan known, and you are teleported to this lovely green place that happens to be just outside of a small village of there you go, that is backed up a little bit against the forest under a little cliff. It's pretty spread out. It looks as if this place maybe was built with the intent that it would grow to be a more substantial town, and it just hasn't really gotten to that point yet. I made this map a while ago for something else and haven't used it yet.
Nice.
Thank you. What would you like to do? Is there resources you'd like to be investigating, people you'd like to talk to, or would you like to try to investigate first?
I suppose step one, secure lodgings. Make sure we have base of operations, so to speak. We can talk to locals, see what the real situation is with the werewolves. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think that's wise. I think we should also have a reason why we are traveling in this direction. I imagine that may come up, and it would be unfortunate if we either had no answer or all had different answers.
This place is south of Waterdeep, but
South of Waterdeep, and I think south of
Daggerford.
Daggerford.
You're headed on.
yeah, I was gonna say we can just pick a city farther south and just say we're traveling.
Fantastic.
Okay. There's an inn here. It's called Fidget's Corner. The owner is a clear Fidget. It's his name. A gnomish gentleman who is excited to have travelers coming through. Accommodations will be 2 copper a night because this is a very small village and rates are good.
How many rooms do you have available?
Well, we have 2 available at the time.
That will suffice. We will take them both.
And what brings you through the city?
Traveling farther. We thought we might stay and rest a while because we've been walking a fair distance. So she will count out 2 more copper knives, 2 silver pieces, and just drop them on the.
Thank you. All right, you have lodgings. What else would you like to do?
Is this just a lodging house? Is there like a common area where guests might be? Any sort of food or drink to be had?
Absolutely, yeah. An inn with food available. Yeah, you can talk to people here.
The continental breakfast till 10 a.m. Yeah, Razik will just hang out there and do his best at making small talk, which isn't very good, but basically what he's trying to get to with anyone who is willing to converse with him is the fact that we're travelers, right? We're heading south. Anything in the woods we need to be worried about.
Okay, make me a persuasion check. Your appearance gives enough people pause that you do not.
Wait, where are you going?
Response.
Maybe we should let Pete talk to everyone. The 3 of us sort of
Unsettling.
Oh, I'd love to. I will do the same, attempting to make small talk to figure out any dangers or things we should look out for.
Sure, roll me a persuasion check.
Preferably not to the people that ran away from Razik.
Of course.
And we know the full moon is in 10 days, correct?
17.
Or 17.
Hey,
I don't know why I thought it was 10.
You meet a couple of dwarven gentlemen who happily tell you that well, you should skirt the edges of the forest, as it is known to be inhabited by trolls, and sometimes they wander far from their territories on occasion for hunting. Sometimes they hit woods, so be careful. But often, especially recently, that is less of an issue. It would appear that the good season has kept their bellies full.
are trolls the only danger we'll find?
I believe so.
Well, that's a relief. Should I be asking something else, guys?
I'm trying to think of what would be relevant.
Ask them how they deal with the trolls. Try and get them talking about these werewolves.
That's the best way to hold the trolls back.
Most people here most people here are capable of protecting themselves to a greater end. We keep fires lit at the walls and at the borders of the city just to keep them away at night, and often if it becomes truly a hazard during the day, sometimes even the sight of fire keeps them at bay.
Oh yeah, that's smart. Do you guys not go out at night because of the trolls?
I wouldn't say that, but most of us don't wander through the forests in general. Even the hunters within the community tend to only go during the day.
Oh, is there any hunters here now?
One of them points to a halfling woman across the commons, across the room.
Well, you have been extremely helpful. I thank you for that. And then he's gonna go walk over to the halfling hunter.
She waves. Hi.
Hi. I hear you are a hunter.
I am, yes.
Do you ever go out at night?
No, my eyes aren't particularly good at night.
Oh, that makes sense. Do you know anybody who does?
Oh, not really. It's sort of unnecessary. Most of us can do enough work during the daytime. It's an unnecessary risk, truly.
There's no, like, animals that taste better that come out at night?
No, that's silly. In fact, most forest predators tend to come out at night.
Like
Foxes
what?
and foxes and some wolves and such. Sometimes
Wolves, you say?
sometimes can hunt at night, and well, only small prey tends to after sundown.
How big are these wolves?
She kind of gestures to about normal wolf height, which is about 4 feet.
I hear you should never get bit by a wolf, because that could be bad.
Well, no, you can become very terribly ill.
Right. And then go through some changes. And he's kind of have, like,
You
weird
can-
eyes, like,
You can die of infection, yes.
Sure. A wolf infection.
Or have your arm torn off.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great either. But going back to the infection.
I mean, you can go a little mad,
Mhm.
terribly sick.
Foam at the mouth a bit.
You don't drink any water.
Are there any other hunters here?
You can be directed to the Hunters Guild.
Oh, wow. That's a great place for them. Yeah, I should have thought about that. Anyways, you've been a great help, and I thank you for that. I'm going to go back to them, and they don't have any reports of werewolves, it seems, but that hunter doesn't go out at night, and so she's probably not the best person to ask. So she instead directed me to the Hunters Guild.
Hunters Guild. Okay.
Where are
She's
they
also-
located?
He'll point in the general direction. She actually told me, right?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll point in that general direction.
Is that where you guys go?
It's probably our lead.
Yeah. I wish I could think of something better, but
To the Hunters Guild.
You go to a building with a thatched roof with a painted paw on its door, and entering you see a couple of... You don't see many because, again, it's daytime. If anyone is here and awake, they're resting, but most people would theoretically be out of work in the forest. But there's a few elvenkind as well as 1 or 2 dwarves here.
Does anyone look... I don't even know what I'm about to ask. Who looks like the best person to talk to?
Does anyone have any like claw marks across their face? And like
perhaps
open-
somebody with an
I was gonna
exclamation
say, like-
point above their head.
Yeah, well, I was going to say someone who might appear sleepy because they go out at night, but I was like, that's dumb.
We find ourselves talking to the town drunk.
Yeah, does anyone have an air of authority around them? Is anyone sitting at a desk?
There, there is. I'm sorry that got me. There is a drow gentleman who is sitting on top of a desk and speaking with a couple of other people, and there seems to be a small queue of individuals lined up to speak with him.
Ooh, I would like to stand in that queue.
Okay. You wait a couple of minutes, and then it is your turn. While you are waiting, you notice that he seems to be of a really jovial disposition, and most people seem to really enjoy speaking with him.
Hi. My name is Platana Sinvin. I'm the Dawnbringer, but you can call me Pete. Everybody does. And I am here with my group of aspiring heroes and hunters, and I was hoping to get some information about the local area and threats that you may have encountered while you're here.
Oh, good to meet you, Mr. Pete. My name's Helwyn.
Just Pete's fine.
All right. Name's Helwyn, and he sticks out a hand for you to shake.
I will shake his hand back.
What do you mean by threats? I mean, you're right on the You're right on the fringes of the Trollbark Forest. You'd think that the name would have dissuaded you.
Right. Well, us being heroes and all, we have to be brave and encounter areas that most people would run from. But we did hear about trolls earlier. I was wondering if there are any other things that we should look out for, specifically if we're going out at night.
Well, sure. I mean, any number of wild creatures. You planning on going into the forest?
Possibly. To hunt. But we're trying to be as safe as possible.
Oh, then you should certainly be going out in the day.
Right. I think, quarry that we are interested in would be more likely to go out at night.
Can you make a persuasion check?
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna spend a sorcery point. Inspiration.
Okay.
Hey, there it is.
He tilts his head to one side and smiles and just says, "You wouldn't happen to be asking about our neighborly tribe, would you?"
You have a neighborly tribe?
Yes. Yes.
Are they also hunters?
Yes.
Would they have information on any other threats?
I mean, not more than I. In fact, they would prove to be better allies in keeping you safe in the Trollbark Forest than I would.
Oh, why is that?
Well, in many regards, we consider them the guardian spirits of the forest.
Oh? What earned them that title?
Well, being guardians of the forest. He grins.
Pete is internally kicking himself. Do they have special abilities? Are they indeed of a healer?
There's very little that can hurt these individuals, these spirits.
Oh, they're actual spirits.
Sure.
Like incorporeal, like you can't hit them.
Well, you can hit them.
But they're
I
they're
wouldn't
dead.
recommend it.
Are they already dead?
Oh, they're very much not dead. Again, they're a tribe. They're folks like you and I.
Oh, okay. Then how come we can't hurt them?
They are very strong. Their skin is almost like steel. You can't pierce it.
Well, we have a steel friend, and I've seen him pierced many times.
Well, I fear that your friend is not one of the of this tribe then.
Very true. We are actually trying to find a tribe of sorts for him, but that's neither here nor there. This local tribe, are they welcoming to travelers?
Depends on your approach. Usually, yes, but they like to keep to themselves. Most people don't understand them very well.
Ooh, why?
Well, because most of them have, in some fashion, contracted lycanthropy. Most people think that they are dangerous and could hurt them, and That is the truth.
But you don't think that.
Oh, no, I do. They
No,
are
I mean-
very dangerous.
But you see them more as allies, right?
Of course they're allies. They keep my people protected. They keep the trolls within the forest.
Have they only ever attacked the trolls?
Yeah.
Then why do you think so many people are inclined to see them as threats?
Well, people often, based on features and attributes that one cannot control, and he lightly gestures to his own face, can make judgments on how dangerous of an individual you might be, and take that with great caution. These individuals, truthfully, as though they have, even though they have not yet ever crossed the threshold of our city, truly do pose the threat that honestly all dangerous creatures do, which is the potential to attack unprovoked. The only difference is if I were to stab you in the dark, you would only bleed. If they were to bite you in the dark, you would then suffer.
Oh. That's very interesting. Well, it was very nice talking to you, and you have been a great help. I appreciate it. And then I'm gonna turn away and go back to the group and tell them what I heard. They don't seem bad.
Except for them being aligned with the decanter business.
Oh.
I don't understand. So far, every group we've dealt with is. There's been a reason for them being where they are. Coralax took over Daggerford. The Knolls took over Lork. That demon thing took over Zix, became its ruler. Even the Beast Lord was doing something, producing something for Decanter, whether it was creatures or money. There has to be some. This is gonna sound dumb, but maybe we should try to talk to them and figure out what he is offering them.
I don't think that sounds dumb at all.
Diplomacy.
Do you think it's possible that they are not yet aligned with Decanter?
No, I don't, because where did we get that list of his allies? They were already on it.
Moira.
Moira, yeah.
Someone whispers from the shadow phone.
Maybe he's offering them something.
Maybe they denied it.
They couldn't have denied it, or they wouldn't be on the list. But I mean, maybe whatever they are getting out of, maybe the whole reason they're his ally is for some benefit at the end, as opposed to something now. So if we can figure that what that is, maybe we can find a way to give it to them first. I'll have, if we want to go talk to them, I think I have to disguise myself again. Decanter has seen me, which means if he's warned them, they will know that they'll know who I am. But I don't think any of you have put the circlets on, correct?
Not yet.
I have
think-
not.
I have not.
I think that's how the Beast Lord. Oh no. That wouldn't have made any difference then.
Under what auspices will we enter diplomacy?
I think we should just tell them the truth.
That we're going around slaying allies of Decanter? Doesn't seem like a great end.
That we know that they are working, that they are allied to Decanter. I mean, I would leave out the part about killing Decanter allies.
Do you think they'll take kindly to us saying that?
I don't see a good lie to begin with, but if they can tell we're lying, that doesn't exactly give us a strong start to figuring out what's going on. I suppose finding them should be the first step.
Finding them is certainly the first step. It will be hard to talk with them if we cannot find them. Perhaps we tell them that we are investigating threats to Waterdeep and the lands that surround it. We have dealt with many of those threats already. That we have been pointed in this direction, but we find that they have great synergy with the town here and would like to know why they have aligned themselves with Decanter.
Seems reasonable.
If we do not wish to engage in duplicity, then yes.
It sounds like they
And-
still might get aggressive on that end. And we are
Yeah.
2 people down.
Well, yes, but we do not have to have this conversation with them immediately. We do have 17 days. But you should certainly be prepared for the response to that question to be a physical one rather than words.
I would think we should be prepared for them to not even give us a chance to ask. They are...
Well, I don't know. They seem to be quite friendly with the people here in town.
Are they friendly or are they simply coexisting? Do they come into town?
He said they're welcoming to strangers depending on your approach.
I don't think we will be perceived as a threat until such time as we identify ourselves as enemies of Decanter. Regardless, we know that they are dangerous, so we should be prepared.
Correct. I will try to check in with Faye via the Sending Stone. I don't know how time flows wherever they are, but there's a chance it won't work, but it should,
That's a good
doesn't-
idea.
theoretically.
It doesn't work over planes, I think.
Sending does, but there's a 5% chance that it goes away.
Oh, that's right. That's what the thing is specific. Yeah. Okay, go for it.
I'll do that at night when we're...
Okay.
Who
Okay.
knows? She might still be in the maze of whatever and just not hear it at all.
Okay. Back in the Shadowfell. Faye, real quick. You have lived now for 15 years as Razik. You have experienced the culture shock, the confusion, the starvation, and the blood-curdlingly agonizing process that is shape-changing. Your body has been literally ripped apart and shattered and put back together in an instant, over and over and over again, and beaten and smashed and destroyed until you felt as if you were going to die. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw? Okay. Just gonna record that, and we're going to handle all of those later. Zira,
Yes,
you've chosen to go right.
I have.
Okay. And you... Alright, 2... Okay. Just-
Well, you add 5 to my roll. Sorry.
Yep, I did. Yep, I did.
Thank you. You're a good friend.
You've chosen to go right. Your vision doesn't dim. You have an easy time seeing exactly what is ahead of you, which is just more walls to the left and to the right. And that sticky scent of blood and the misty texture of the air, of flaking dust, and the echoing footsteps of your shoes against stone. And you have a very high passive perception, so you notice instantly when there is another set of steps that is walking right next to you.
Well, go ahead and turn my head. Without particularly being aggressive, I guess. Just try and see who's walking beside me.
Alright, just so you know, you're really robot-y right now, and I don't know...
One sec. Let me just
Okay.
restart my interface. I'll be right back in like 3 seconds.
Okay. Trying to find the pitch where I need to be sitting my voice box at. I'm starting to shred my throat, and I don't know how.
That's no good.
I know. Got a few more hours of this shit.
All right. Better?
Beautiful.
Way better.
Great. Oh,
Okay.
man. Okay.
You turn your head, and there is a familiar, maybe somewhat startling face. There is a figure standing next to you. He's a little, well, they're a little shorter than you are, with 2 sets of dark horns and palish gray skin and bright blue eyes, and what is very formal, like glamorous clothing that is stained from the collar and down the front with old blood. And they smile at you and just say, "Long time no see."
Zira stops dead in her tracks. Her mouth is just hanging open, and she shakes her head. Song?
Hello, Zira.
I'm so sorry. What are you... Is it you? Or is this a test?
It's definitely both. You understand that, right?
She pauses and looks at her feet, and then looks back at Song and nods. Yeah. Okay. So what now? Do I have to do it again? She grins at him.
Well, that would be easy, wouldn't it? You didn't
would.
give it a thought the first time, so why would doing it a second time, a third time, a thousandth time matter?
Because I regret it.
Do you? Do you
Yeah.
really? After everything that it has given you to do so?
there should have been another way. I just wasn't thinking. Right? Zero looks up then at Crete expectantly.
You look around for him and he's not there. And as you look around, you are no longer in a passage. You are in an enclosed box. The sky is still above you, but there's no sun, no moon, no stars, no clouds. But these bricks have shifted and moved without your knowledge to enclose you here.
I just wanted to be something more. You would have done the same, right?
They grin and say, I might have. We'll never know.
That's why I regret it. I shouldn't have taken that from you. Out of everyone else, you were not the person to steal that from.
I saw your smile. I saw you grin at the sight of my Zira.
Well, I was... Okay. Okay. I get what you're doing. It's not working.
Of course it's not working. This isn't the test, Zira.
Then let's get to it then.
I'm working on it.
Is there... I'm going to start to, How high are the walls here?
20 feet.
I will attempt to run away from my problems by turning into a raven. How does that work out for me?
It doesn't.
Doesn't. Uh-huh.
It's cute.
All right. And so what? We're both trapped in here together. Might as well get out of here together.
Oh. That would be nice.
Oh, I mean just out of this box, silly.
Oh, I can leave whenever. I'm dead, remember?
Right.
In fact, actually, in a lot of ways, if you think you stole what you have from me, potentially, and they put a hand to their chest, you're quite mistaken. I am more here than I ever was.
All right. Then what's the catch?
The catch is that it's about you. It's not about me. In fact, I had other things I wanted to do today. And they grin.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to, just interrupt your busy schedule of whatever dead people do. Well, I think that solves that. I'm glad you're doing well. You look good. You should change your shirt, though. You got a little something. She points at their neck.
They grab your hand. I would, but again, I'm dead. If anything, I should really blame you for not taking me out of there and putting me something fancier before I was ferried along.
Oh, yeah, man. Now that's going to be my regret forever.
Yes, it should be. Zira, you've told me a lot, and you've not told me a lot. Why are you here? I know it's not to see me.
In truth, by chance, I was here with a friend, but they're off doing something else. I figured I didn't have much to lose, so if I tagged along, I might get something out of it. Maybe more power out of it. Never can go wrong with that. Or a place by the Queen's side. I feel like leaning into it would be wise of me. Oh, considering I'm just good at the job, right?
Well, that's one way of thinking about it. How's your family?
No idea.
How come?
They never cared. Plus, as soon as I left the Zentarum, they're among the people who might want me dead. Loose ends and all.
Yes, you've made a real mess, haven't you?
Me? No. I mean, the one who ratted us out was the one who made the mess. I just wasn't responsible, and I ran. Also, it took way too long for the Zentarum to even catch up on that.
Maybe they didn't
What?
care.
Yeah, glad to know that I'm back on their radar.
Does that make you feel special?
A little bit. Yeah, truthfully, I was kind of hurt that there wasn't a manhunt for me, but it also made my life a lot easier. So, good with the bad.
Hmm. You know, it's a real pity to see you here.
And why is that?
Because it shows that you have made no choices. No decisions, barely a thought to what you are doing. You are here because you let yourself be here. I'm here because you just let yourself go to whatever force happened to pick you up. You were in the Zentarum for the same reason.
I was born into the Zentarum.
No, you weren't. You were born into a family that was shit and hated you. And you thought that a Zentarum somehow would help, even if you were forced into it. Forced, you say.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If I ran, they wouldn't care.
Running's not a decision either, Zira.
All right. Then my pursuit of this shall be of my own volition. It doesn't feel right. No. No, you're right. I haven't made a choice. Ever. Look, I joined those heroes that I'm with. That's something. I'm making a name for myself.
Why?
That's what all this is for. Power, fame, money. All in pursuit of, the finer things. To be known more accurately. And I will be.
I should laugh. I should laugh. I won't. You want power, fame, and money, accolades, attention, and love. You like to feel needed. And you always pretended you didn't. That dishonesty with yourself is really what got you here. That's why the first thing that came your way, the Raven Queen, those voices at night, the darkness beckoning, that was the first thing you turned to in the pursuit of attention and affection.
Well, it had something for me.
It's disgusting.
It is.
You're disgusting. And not in the charming way that most nobility usually are, where they're slimy and cute.
Oh, no, I'm a much, much more honest version of that. Slimy and cute is my family. I aim to be nothing like that.
And yet you're exactly like them. And the only thing that you have to prove to say that you weren't is that you're a bastard? Fuck off, Zira.
And what of you? What choice did you make to join the Zendara? Why were you there?
Survival?
That's not a choice.
No, it's not. I'm not pretending that I made any good choices or any real choices, but I'm also not the one in the fortress of misery seeking some truth.
Yep. Damn. Lily's just behind me laughing the whole time. Oh, gosh.
That's helpful.
This ghost is fucking savage, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, song's fucking fantastic.
Giving it to you.
Well, it's, I think I found something. Some
What do you
sort of truth.
What do you think you found?
Well, firstly, that apparently I'm like my family. Second off, I need validation and attention, but I think I know where to get that. Granted, I'm not going to stop working for the Raven Queen. Her employment is fantastic. Oh, also,
Great employee benefits.
yeah. Have you met my assistant yet?
No, I very much avoid all of the imps.
Oh, I'll tell him to swing by.
Love that.
Well, maybe I can find a way to get back into I don't know, be back into the cycle. You know, how elves be.
Maybe. Does that feel
any-
right for you? Is that a decision you want to make?
Yes. I mean, it is. I'm playing the cards that I was dealt, but if I play them right, I can come out of this better than I was. And by that I mean more or less immortal. More or less.
And that is what you think you want.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be useful. Maybe I could actually take up a hobby that's not killing people for a living.
That would be good for... I've always seen you as something of a seamstress.
Well, good thing you didn't get out of the Zentarum because you couldn't sing for shit.
No. No, never. Anyway, I believe that there's something that might be obstructing any further performances of my own anyway. They indicate the long streak across their throat.
Oh, yeah, no, that'll do it. Actually, I think it might have made it better.
Would have made quite the impression anyway.
Oh god, blood gurgling out if you try and sing with a slit throat. Oh god, like a Harry Potter ghost. Yuck.
Well, speaking of obstructing passage,
Zero taps the front of the wall behind Song with her staff.
I don't think you've exactly told me what truth you think you're looking for, or that you claim you found.
immortality, undeath.
Undeath and immortality are actually antitheses.
Then the second one, immortality.
Why, Zira?
To improve myself, to find the truths in life as I live it, rather than
Having to come to the fortress of fucking misery to do so.
I haven't had the chance to step back and examine, and I don't have exactly a long time to do so. Also, tired of being upstaged by all those academics.
It's really, really annoying.
At least you got to learn how to read. And the wall opens.
Before she's going to proceed, and before going, she's going to take Song's knife from her pouch and like toss it to them. Here, I'm not gonna need that anymore.
Their hand flashes out and snatches the incoming hilt. And they hold it. And then their arm drops to the side. I still plan on coming with you. You have a very long walk ahead of you.
Okay, but no singing.
Couldn't if I tried.
I will continue on my walk.
Alright, and we're gonna pause and take a 15. And be back at 10 after, it looks like. Okay, folks. Back to Faye. How is Faye doing?
Oh, don't you fucking dare.
I'm writing a haiku. So
I know. I heard typing from like to my side, and I look, and she's just like, I see the.
it's the first line. All right.
The first.
Sarah, can we get a haiku channel?
Yep.
Dope. Fucking. I don't know. Indifferent. Not
Really?
not exactly correct, but like. I don't think what's happening here is strong. I think it's
Really?
I think it's a realization, but I don't think it feels like a truck. I think it feels subtle. I think it feels like a dawning realization that's been coming for a long time. It feels
Okay.
like empathy and not like something dramatic and world-shattering. But, you know, it's important. I don't think it's like big, like huge, like dramatic.
It's not
It's not explosive.
It's not huge. It's not huge that she has experienced the exact life of someone she professes, anyway, to care about, the entirety of his existence.
It's big existentially.
Mhm. But she doesn't
I
it's
don't
not clicking?
I think it clicks. I just don't think it's explosive.
Mhm.
Does that make any sense? It doesn't.
It actually does.
I feel like this is a more genuine emotion than I could describe in words that would make it sound kitschy and easy to contain. I think it's something new to her.
Mhm. Okay.
She's probably had a lot of time to grapple with that, though, is another thing.
Yeah.
The entirety of a second life to come to terms with what that meant.
And here comes another one. You are in an immaculate palace. You are standing between two adults who are facing each other and talking to each other. The man to your left is your father, the woman to the right you do not know. She has a dagger on her hip that has a snake twisted around the pommel. They're talking about you, but you have been raised to keep posture and keep quiet. You don't even look up to see their faces. You are very small in comparison to them. You hear a couple of words that they're saying and you understand what it is they're talking about, but you are intentionally unfocused. And you hear phrases that are like, you hear words like difficult and discipline and danger. And then you are led by the woman away from your home. Not that this has ever really felt like your home. It has just been the place that you call home. And you are taken to a place that is often dark and are taught you are taught so much. You are taught how to wield a blade. You are taught how to mix toxin. You are taught how to turn a phrase and to speak delicately and to avoid suspicion. But there is something that is within you that cannot really be stopped, which is this incessant need to be known. And as such, you take on mannerisms, postures, features, and speech patterns that reflect this airy desire to be recognized, but as if you were not trying. And this is decades of work, night after night after night, in places that are either foreign to you, that you are instructed that this is where you need to be, or in a familiar small room, or in a servant's quarters within the place that you call home. There are children here in this home that you know are your family, but they do not know that you are theirs. And that, you tell yourself, does not bother you. And in fact, to prove that it doesn't bother you, you repeatedly try to antagonize them. And you are clever enough and are trained in a way that prevents you from ever being caught. But every time you throw mud into their shoes or prop up some sort of illusion or device or something that is going to cause them some sort of scare. Every time you do anything that vaguely might entertain yourself to terrorize them, you really want to be caught. But you can't say that. The training that you are undergoing, both within the household and within what becomes your place of business, is harrowing. Especially for someone who is young. And there are other people here who are young. There's a tiefling here who's quite young. Maybe a couple of years younger than you. But you are still expected to keep up with the adults. And as such, there are times where you are brutally beaten in training and sparring. And even though blades are dulled, they leave terrible bruises. And there is only one who really does notice you, and that's not all surprising. And perhaps that is the only reason that you feel in any way compelled to interact with them. But this one other person, this one tiefling, insists that they see you, that they know you, and they understand you, and they listen to you. They listen to you complain. Even though you don't complain. At least you don't think you complain. Because everything is supposed to be two-sided. But they have been taught the same language that you have, so you all speak the same phrases. You speak exactly alike. You know what each other mean. And by the time you feel that you should be deemed an adult, after years and years of training, practice, feeling the soft affections of the man that you know as your father that are always in secret, and the open scorn that you feel from the mother of your half-siblings, it's not... You know that it is not as bad as it could be. And for that reason you feel like you should not complain. There are plenty of people who have it worse than you. But it still is its own little agony to be in a place that is once again your home and your family, and people who refuse to allow you to be family. And you have practiced and trained, and you are an employee of this household. You have preferential treatment, but your job here is specifically that of a guardian. You are not a daughter, you are not a sister, you are a trained warrior, and you have to insist that that is fine. And at about this time, every night when you go to sleep, there is torrential whispers and voices pouring through your dreams that demand to be heard and become so loud that they have begun to dull your sense of self. And that is all well and fine, because as far as you are concerned, you are a tool and a weapon, and that's all that you need to be. And these voices, if anything, help. And so they do not bother you. Not even when they become so loud that you cannot hear the people standing next to you and speaking directly to you. It does not matter, because you are not the person that they assume you to be. Because you're special. You have to be special. Why else would you be feeling this way? Why else would you think this way? Why else would you have been put in this position? You have to be special somehow. Sorry. There comes a point after you have proven that you are at once a valuable asset to the people who are your family and to the organization which you have been put into. You have proven repeatedly that you are capable of very complicated work. And so you're assigned to a very specific job. And you are also assigned a company. And this company are people that you trust. You have been told to trust, which is ironic, and you know this. In fact, it is humorous to you that you are told to trust anyone, particularly when that trust is then shattered and you are anticipated, and the entire operation begins to crumble around you. And these voices that have been not just company, but a soothing reminder that you are being noticed by something, have begun to become more direct, commanding, and pressing, and push you and demand that you prove your value and prove to them, not to the rest of this world, not to the organization, not to your family, but prove to these sounds, this spirit of dark, that you have merit by killing those who are close to you. And so you do so with such powerful, such intense glee, because you are doing something you are being asked to do with the immediate promise of gratitude. And it is given to you. You see the light fade from the eyes of your victims, and there is a pulsing through your chest, and you feel cold and on fire, and you know that you have pleased something. And it is decades and decades of figuring out how to chase that feeling, how to chase that burning in your chest. And it is so frustrating how very rarely it comes, because you finally thought you found something that was actually impressed with you. And it's not. Even though it provides gifts and power and might and symbols, finding that same feeling again happens so rarely that there is some reason to doubt that you did the right thing and that you've hurt the wrong people, but it is far too late to be considering that, and so you continue doing the thing that you think you are supposed to be doing, which is killing and hurting people and extracting their pain and feeding it to this darkness. It's a ritual. It's a ritual to watch things die. And not only die, but to feel agony. And the desensitization is helpful, but it is only in the moments that you actually feel something about a death, about torture, that you realize that you can feel that acceptance, as if you cannot be methodical about this. And there is a chasing circle within you that is at once the demand to be the tool and the weapon that you have been trained to be, which feels nothing and does not need to be acknowledged, just needs to be used and told what to do. And this little girl who has a father who loves her more than nearly anything, who cannot ever express that affection. And that takes 50 years to experience. And I need another con save. Okay. Okay.
You already know.
Mm-hmm. This next one feels similar, except that rather than there being this dichotomy of an anguished child and an unfeeling tool, it is just then empty. There is no physical sensation. There is no mental stimulation. There is absolutely nothing, which even for Faye, in her insistence that reality is only what she can personally experience, is startling. Until there is a light and walls around her and a person standing in front of you. A person with deep red skin and long curled horns and gray salt and pepper hair in a ponytail and very large glasses, who is about at eye level with you and seems to be bent over and is a little bit in your face. And there is a substantial amount of, not confusion, but it's like a sponge that is just empty and open and waiting for something. And that something comes in the form of this voice from this individual in front of you, where you are told that what you are doing is sitting and that you need to stand. And there is not a thought that passes through your mind. And you are standing. You have literally no thought. There is just the open reception to command and order. There is the person, the creature, the thing that is in front of you. And behind him is another. One who looks different, thinner, smaller. She has no horns, just long hair, and is holding something in her hands. And he tells you that this little thing is everything to you, and that there is nothing that you will not do to protect this thing. And that spoken reality makes it true. And there is time, day after day after day, where you are at first committed to a very small room, a round space, a round building with low ceilings, where there are tools and equipment all along the walls and hanging from the ceiling and over this very large table in the center of the room, and stairs that go downwards. And you are told not to go downstairs. And there is what begins to express itself as possibly the idea of anxiety, that this thing that you have been told that is your entire existence and the center of your being that is not present with you, and you are not allowed to know where it is or what it is doing. And time passes, you are instructed in many things very quickly, shockingly quickly, that if you were Fae in this moment, this would make you ill. It would cause you to go insane. You learn how to read, you learn how to write, you learn how to speak, you learn how to measure, you learn everything that is possibly required to function within a very specific capacity within the household that you are going to be being introduced into. And then you are also taught very basic, simplistic combat moves and fighting, and a very simplistic fighting style. And then you are eventually given a weapon that you are told is to never be presented while within this tower. And years go by in this place. You do not understand fully the concept of year. There is no light. There is no way to tell time. There is only time when you are told to sit, and then things go dim and you are quiet for hours, and then you are told to stand, and then you go about learning again. And eventually, you are taken downstairs. The ceilings are tall enough to accommodate you here, unlike in the other place. And it is bright here. There is a very large window that looks over a brilliant green field and a forest and a river, a stream. And this room has a bed and a small kitchen and a chest of toys and things, and there is a very small thing that is coaxed out from behind his mother's skirts that is introduced to you. And this is immediately your everything. You would die to see this thing happy, let alone to keep it alive. And shortly after that, weeks maybe, the mother becomes very ill and is not seen again. It becomes your position to keep the boy comfortable, happy, and entertained as it is explained to him what is happening to his mother. In the meantime, you have two tasks, which are to keep the boy safe and to keep him smiling. And again, this is your everything. You have no other concept of motivation other than to accomplish these two goals. This includes story time and feeding the child and teaching him and instructing him, and a very important part of the process, which is work, which is to descend to the bottom of the tower, to ensure that the door is shut, and then to stand on the opposite side of the stream as all sorts of creatures creep from the brush and try to make it across the stream to the tower. And there is nothing that you won't do to prevent that from happening. And this is, again, years and years. And now you have a concept of time. You see the sun going down and coming up. And you see the growth of the boy, and it is your responsibility to track it, make sure that he is healthy, and learn to understand and help him control the influence over the weave that he exhibits, which is challenging. You have no such control, and yet this is expected of you. And every day, there is the simple routine of taking food to the master upstairs, waking the boy, taking his measurements, and playing with him, and then going to work, returning to the laboratory, sitting for the master, and then finding yourself the next morning in that same place. There is an incident some 10 years beyond the first encounter with the boy that is different. Every other day feels like routine. Every other day is the same. You reading stories and being a hero and teaching the boy to be a hero and then showing him how to be a hero by defending the tower. And one day is different because one day there is something that changes, something has to have made it across the stream that you did not see. Because the door is open and then there is something that is standing in the door. And it appears to be tall and thin, stretched, and with sharp teeth and a barbed tail. And it is standing over the threshold, and it looks like it might be making its way towards the stairs. And so you do something that you have never done, which is before the other creatures are vanquished, you retreat across the stream, and you put an end to the threat at the door. You shut the door, and you return to work. And when work is finished, you return to the door, you open it, and there is the familiar heat that is within your core that cools, and the shape of the corpse is different than what you saw. The shape of the corpse is small and thin and shattered and familiar. And there is so little you recall from then, because there is just skips. There is things that you can see, and there are times where you are in a place that you understand, and then suddenly you are somewhere else. The last true memory that you can recall is the anguished face of the master in front of you as he begins to work to repair you for the evening. Make another con save.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. That one's not as good, though. All right, gentlemen, back in the Trollbark Forest. What you doing?
Oh, so you say that this confection is something called an iced cream? What are these colorful little things on top of it? Oh, the sprinkles. Oh well, this is delightful. Oryx, have you tried the iced cream? Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Did you guys want to go into the forest?
Yeah, did we want to wait for the rest in case negotiations went violent?
That's a good question. Like, how much time has passed for us at this point?
20 minutes?
Yeah. Like,
You guys have just still you have just arrived still.
Like, I would say, out of character, probably one of our best moves to do is let Razik do like druid type reconnaissance of the forest before we go pulling in there. Razik can talk to fucking squirrels and shit. Can just become animals and investigate it. Like, we do have a druid, and it's a forest.
Hold on one second, Valor. Just let me finish this ice cream. Now, what's that now? Oh yes. And
Ask the squirrels for their advice.
I will. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I will turn into a squirrel and scamper off into the forest. Just some random direction till I see some other animals.
Sure. Make a survival check, I
Yeah,
guess. Okay. I mean, you're a squirrel, you can find other squirrels. If you're stupid enough, you can find a fox.
Oh, I think the fox would be the stupid one.
For sure. Like, yeah.
Fox might die of a heart attack when I just boom lizard man. I will sort of scamper around. Do I perceive any humanoids in the area?
Ooh.
Enter a commune with nature spell.
Some time passes as you are wandering around, and we'll say maybe 20 so minutes or something, maybe a little longer. And yes, they appear to be. I mean, you rolled very high, and you also have a high passive. And they didn't roll particularly well, but yes, you see a troop of humanoid figures. They're all armed with longbows, and they seem to be walking comfortably through the forest. They're all wearing pelts that seem to be very loose fitting and tied comfortably. And then some ragged clothing as well that doesn't appear to have seen, what's the word? A decent tailor sometime.
I think I'll follow them around for a little bit, see what they're up to.
Okay. You mostly just then witness a hunting party that very carefully tracks, silently moves through the trees and circles and hunts down and then takes down a troll in moments. And it starts out with several long distance shots from longbows, and eventually, after essentially starting it into a frenzy and confusing it, from their circling points within the tree line, creep in and attack with their hands, which then stretch to claws, and fur bristles from their skin. Some of them, their faces elongate and they snap and growl and tear, and eventually bring this creature down, and none of them look scathed afterwards. And they cut it all into pieces, and one of them lights a torch and they begin singeing the segmented parts, and then they continue on.
Which direction do they continue on, like on a compass rose?
Southeast.
Great. I head northwest for a little
Okay.
ways. Find myself some more squirrels. Right. And cast speak with or become Razik. Right, and cast speak with animals.
Okay.
Hello, friend.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
And I'd offer some bits of rations. I'm just sort of ripping it off and tossing them out as I'm speaking. I just saw a hunting party take down a troll. Have you seen anything like that before?
They all nod.
And I see they went to the southeast. Do you know where they make their home?
A cave in that direction.
Do you know how many of them live in that cave?
A lot.
Have you seen anyone that does not look like them go into that cave?
Yes, but they come back out and then go back in and then come back out and then go back in and then come back out.
Really, what does that one look like?
They eventually come to look like them.
And I imagine you already know to stay away from them when the moon comes out.
Some furry-headed nods.
Anything else that is particularly interesting in this forest?
You want to see a cool pool?
Ooh, I really, really do. But there are people waiting for me. Maybe I'll come back and you will show me that pool.
More nods.
Okay, well, do you guys have enough nuts and whatnot?
Mm-hmm. It's summertime. Food is bountiful.
Okay, well, try and stay away from those folks. They could be trouble. I hope to see you again. Goodbye. And Razik will just meander his way back to town.
Okay. Are you gonna stealth at all, or are you just walking?
I'm just sort of walking. Yeah, I'm just sort of walking.
Okay. Your passive perception's a 19, right?
That's correct.
All right. You feel the presence of something over you. That doesn't seem to go away. Sometimes it crosses from your left to your right, but it is behind you. And then you can make it back to town. And as soon as you leave the tree line, that feeling goes away.
Okay. I will find my compatriots, relay the conversation that I had with the squirrels to them, and I will also let them know I seem to have been I don't know if followed is the right word or maybe watched, but something was definitely aware of my presence in the forest. So I don't think that we should even count on the element of surprise. They seem to know this forest very well.
Probably not.
The question is, do we wait? And if so, for how long?
Well, I think at the very least we can wait until tomorrow. That still gives us 16 days. And given our current thought processes, we will either have a discussion that will be successful, and that will leave us 16 days to find whatever it is Decanta has promised them for allegiance, so that we may have their allegiance, or we will be fighting them tomorrow.
Is there any special requests I should know about fighting them? I was chastised for my handling of the Mind Flayer.
Oh no, you did great with the Mind Flayer.
I thought so as well.
I agree.
I didn't see what happened, so I can't really say much.
The Mind Flayer killed you, and he killed the Mind Flayer.
Seems pretty straightforward. What was the problem?
Who chastised you for killing the Mind Flayer?
Faye was not happy. It was not a direct chastisement.
Well, Pete says you did great, and Org says you did great, and I said you did great, and you feel like you did great, right?
Yes.
Well, okay, so that's 4 votes for great.
Excellent. If we have to kill the werewolves, do we kill all of them?
Oh yes, if
Necessary, I suppose.
oh yes, if something progresses to the point where you have to kill things, then you kill everything that needs killing.
Ooh.
What's that, Pete?
That was actually Doug.
Oh, nice.
Broke character, my bad.
You want to go into the woods?
I think we're going back to. Or I think Razik's planning on going back to the hotel.
Yeah. Waiting
Yeah.
a bit.
Wait for the next day. How early is it anyway?
Not even noon yet.
Yeah.
Razik will probably wander around town then, see if he finds anything interesting.
Okay.
Maybe we should find who's ever in charge of this town. Maybe they have more. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of formal agreement that most people
Oh yeah.
don't know about.
Oh, that's a good idea. I guess we should find them.
What will we do if they are in league with the villains?
I mean, it's possible that they're in league with the people in the forest, not knowing that those people are in league with the Cantor. So, you know, I mean, this could be a giant mess of people not knowing what their supposed allies are doing.
Ah, Master Crawford would call that a clusterfuck.
From what Decker tells me, accurate. But I think it's worth finding out as much as we can. I can't believe that this settlement went in and has spent all this time with a werewolf pack nearby without any sort of defense plan. They can't have always known the werewolves were not dangerous to them unless they are all part of the tribe of werewolves.
Do you think that they hide a secret weapon?
I think that any village with no walls around it, this close to a forest with werewolves in it, and trolls in it, and who knows what in the surrounding wilderness to literally the other 3 sides of this town, has to have something going on. Some sort of militia or something that explains why they haven't been taken off the map.
Well, I definitely think your initial idea of speaking with whoever is in charge is very wise indeed. They will certainly know the answers to those questions, and perhaps we can present ourselves as just travelers who have discovered that there are werewolves nearby, and that we just wanted to report the threat and see how they respond to that.
It sounds like they know they're in there already.
Yes, but I just don't think. I don't think they would be as likely to share information with us if we simply go in and say, "Tell us how you get along with the werewolves." But I think if we present ourselves as do-gooders reporting the threat of werewolves, unaware that they already know, right, that to assuage our fears, they might be a little more loose-lipped. But at the end of the day,
Seems like a good plan.
at the end of the day, perhaps someone else should choose on the course of action, because I seem to lack. What was that you said, Vala? Oh yes. I seem to lack
Charisma.
charisma. Yes, that's the word. Thank you.
You lack people skills.
Mm. Mm. Well, that's hard to take from a empty shell of armor.
You are not wrong. I'm completely devoid of people skills.
Well, that's why you and I get along, Vala.
Indeed.
Okay.
Remember, if it comes to it, kill everything.
Indeed. Fuck.
You guys return to the city. You can wander around a little bit. You see a copper shop, you see a chapel, you see the Hunters Guild and other guild houses. One of which you are told, if you ask if you're looking for the master of the city, you can find him within his own house, which the front half is converted into office space for people such as yourselves. The understanding that you really kind of get as you approach is that this place is not somewhere at its scale, does not require much government or governmental influence or intervention, and so there is not really, especially compared to the last few places you've been, much less formal interaction with the city master, who is an elven gentleman who keeps his hair tied back and introduces himself as Mirdrin Cavallero, and is actually the one to answer the door when you knock, because he does not. It is so rare that he is what's the word? I guess interrupted or called upon, that he does not even need a secretary. And he says, would appear we have some travelers through the city.
Above table. Is this the guy we plan telling warning of the werewolf to?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Oh, hi. Yes, we are travelers and we are visiting this lovely town of yours. We were out traveling and just wanted to let you know that, like, not far outside of your gates there are, and Pete looks left and right, werewolves.
Yes.
Right, and so we're just warning you of the danger, because they can be dangerous.
Correct. Thank you.
You're not reacting with a ton of shock.
Well, no, they've been an establishment in Trollbark Forest since before we settled here. This city was established.
Oh, so you know them.
I do.
Have you guys come to a mutual agreement as far as nonviolence goes?
We have.
Ooh, interesting. How did you come to such agreement?
Some time ago, there was another city master who agreed with another tribe leader, and there has been peace between us. We do not bother them, they do not bother us.
Interesting alliance. Speaking of alliances, do you know of any of theirs?
I don't understand your question.
Do you know of anyone else they have allied themselves with? Perhaps good, perhaps not?
No, I don't believe that the Plodhood tribe would do such a thing.
Can
I'm
we
sure
insight
this
check
is.
that?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure it's useless, but I'd like to insight it.
Do you have any ice cream?
Thank God for Doug.
Holy shit. Carry us, Doug. Carry us.
I was gonna say that's a 1, a 2, and a 4 on our dice.
Side note, Sarah,
Uh-huh.
if I can retroactively do this, I was gonna cast Enhance Ability on myself, but for charisma checks, not for wisdom, so it doesn't apply to this check. But
Oh.
can we go back and do that real quick?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I got the
That's-
charisma boost.
Sure, yep. Insight, you were looking to see if he mentioned anything about allies, and he seems genuinely confused by that line of questioning.
What do they do up there?
I mean, they have peaceful living where, again, we do not interfere with them. They do not interfere with us. They hunt and live peacefully.
Do you ever trade with them or visit them or bring gifts?
Gifts on occasion.
Do you present it like outside their city or do they invite you in?
It is a meeting, an exchange.
What kind of gifts do you give them?
Well, it is, how to put this? Willing offering?
Pete's and Doug's eyes just widened really big there. Oh. Are there any other gifts that visitors who are trying to be welcomed into their tribe might want to give?
Oh, well, as long as you are not violent or aggressive, then you might be allowed passage through the forest without harm, and if you wish to speak with them directly, they are willing to speak. It is only considered an intrusion if you bring harm to one of their own.
Are there any like cultural
Foibles!
gestures that I should know about that might be offensive outside of violence?
Well, the chief, Rolls Tangwood, is their mightiest warrior and is quite powerful. So long as you do not cross him, you should be fine. Do not try to injure any of them. Not that it should do you any good. Very few are capable of harming any of them. They are all protected.
Foible.
I can just imagine them yelling this in the background. Okay. Well, I think that's all that I have. Sorry for the misunderstanding. I was just generally trying to be nice, but I see that they're also very nice, and now I feel foolish. Okay, bye.
You are not the first, nor will you be the last to make such a mistake.
Oh, I feel better. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
How, if I can,
Mm-hmm.
when the full moon comes, they never come in here.
No.
Okay.
Very
Interesting.
Oh, are we by ourselves right now? Or are we still there?
I
So
had
you-
to ask him, so.
Do you guys leave?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't either.
Alright, when we're away from him. So it seems like we really should just go and try and talk to them. The only issue is how to keep them non-violent while we ask about more nefarious alliances that they may have.
Well, we should bring a gift.
I don't know if we have a willing offering.
Well, we can kill a deer or a bull or something and at least bring them some food.
Is that our plan?
I'll track one down and kill it.
Do you think that's enough to keep them from attacking?
Well, according to what's his name, Mirrodin, as long as we don't attack them, they won't attack us. That sounds very promising.
True. Unless they have orders from Decanter to attack anybody like us.
Then we kill everybody.
Oh. Are you sure we're equipped for that?
Well, I don't know, but I don't see how we have another option. If we go to talk to them and they attack us, we will kill them.
Oh.
Is there another option I'm not considering?
We could try and do more reconnaissance, but that might seem invasive to them if we get caught.
So rude.
Rude or aggressive.
Perhaps we could try what we tried with the evil Duke.
How do you mean?
We depose. Violent insurrection.
That worked because we both had the real Duke and could show that the people of that town were being lied to. Here, I don't think that way will work.
Perhaps not.
Okay, then. I'm gonna go get some experience in the town, and then I'm gonna get some rest before I'll beg, and I get conversation tomorrow.
That is how it will start.
Yes, I'm thinking 50-50 it ends with murder.
I don't really like our chances taking on an entire tribe, just the four of us, but
Well, that's why we're waiting. We're hoping that Faye and Zero are back from their vacation.
How long are we supposed to wait?
I'll try to contact Faye before I go to sleep through the sending stone. If the message isn't lost, she might have some idea of how long they will need. Of course, well, knowing how long she's been, knowing how long she's been there and how long we've been here, she should be able to figure out the time difference.
We
to know
can
how long we need.
afford to wait. if we must.
Also, she didn't seem to know too much about it going in. Are you so sure she knows enough about it now to wager an accurate guess?
I don't know. It will depend on whether she's done with what she went there to do or not. So, I won't know more, unfortunately, until I send the message. And it has to be pretty short, so I guess I should plan out what I'm going to say.
Okay, bye. See you soon. And Razik wanders off into town.
I'm going to go back to our rooms and plan the message. I'll be there if you need me.
What will you be doing, boy preacher?
I don't know. I don't know what's really in this town, so I guess I'll explore it. And he's just kind of like,
up to you.
Before you two wander off, we've already lost Razik. There are. Are you staying in my room again, Pete?
oh, sure.
And Razik and Valor.
I would prefer to, yes, although I can stand in the common room.
That doesn't. No.
Technically, you can
I just
stand
wanted
anywhere.
to make sure we had, an idea of who was where is all. All right, you know where I am if you need me.
Okay, bye.
Good luck with the planning and the message.
Okay. Zira.
Roger.
You keep walking down this very straight and direct path. And Song has their hands in Song has their hands in their pockets and is walking next to you, eyes ahead, and just says out loud, "Do you have any questions? Have you thought about what you want to ask as your truth you're seeking?"
I mean, what what does she have the capability of answering? I know that, or rather, I have heard that she's a keeper of secrets and ancient knowledge and all that other stuff, but I haven't been here before. None of the information that I've tried to track down is at all solid. And I've been trying to
Anything?
do my homework.
Anything you want to ask will be answered truthfully. It is the exchange by which you earn the truth of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's my dilemma, is I'm not sure if I care enough to know a truth about myself, or if I just want to have some big heady truth of the universe to know and to build off of as I grow stronger as a wielder of magic, I guess. Because I think I've started to come to my own realizations, and I think that's why this whole trip was. I regret coming, not because of you, not because of anything, but I feel like I feel like I'm on the way to realizing these things in my own life, but I don't know.
So you haven't figured it out. And the space turns back into a box.
I think Good. We're gonna be trapped here forever if this is the way it's gonna go, isn't it?
All you have to do is admit to me, and more particularly to yourself, your own truth, Zira.
I need to be known. I need to be cared for. And I've found that every single relationship I've had is strictly business. There's something that I'm missing. I don't know what it is, but I have found that not all things are a transaction. And it's damaging because I act that way. I have no idea how to change that because that's just been our life. Or mine.
Do you
But-
want help?
It's something I should have asked for before I got us both trapped in here. But yes.
They put their hands on the side of your face and kiss you, and there is that burning that I mentioned with Faye that at once had felt cold and fiery, that ignites in an explosion of agonizing pain in your chest that physically burns through your flesh and causes you to melt. And it hurts so badly. And you are left, as they withdraw, with a physical hole through you. And the dimness with which you have blanketed your emotions and your transactional relationships is so thoroughly dissolved that you feel everything at once, the pain and the joy and the terror and the peace that you have intentionally stifled your entire life all at once. It is so hurtful and so intense that you can't help but cry and immediately collapse.
Yup. Yes. That's exactly what's up.
And you try to find the switch that is in your mind that turns that blanket back on, and it is factually gone.
I am going to instead just try to embrace that and instead come to, or try to, if there is any sort of consciousness to swim towards.
There is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to attempt to wake up. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to see if I can reach out to the Raven Queen, because I think that's something that Zira has been like struggling with in her employment. Oh boy, it's coming back. Oh no. is whether it's better to be like just an instrument of, you know, just like that fucking zen, nothing can touch you, everything just goes through you, you move like water, or being like a vessel for like crazy strong emotions. I don't know which one she'd want and which one would be better for her. I know which one would like. I know which one Zero wants now, which is the just living like a normal person. But if that's going to be detrimental to my servitude to the Raven Queen, there might be a little bit more pause. So I'm going to kind of reach out for that sort of guidance in being like, hey, is this part of your will? Is this decision I'm making going to be... Is it going to be good for you?
You feel a hand, a familiar hand, taking yours, and you hear Song say, "Make a fucking decision, Zira."
And with that, I'll say fuck it and just live like a normal person. Yeah, no more business. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm going to just ignore that then. I'm going to not even care whether it's good to just let things through me and yeah, hold on to memories, emotions like they are part of life to enjoy, as well as like the pain and suffering as well, spice of life and all that.
And the agony through your body subsides. And you can move.
I'm still on the road.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're walking up to that door.
It'll take
Long
some
road
time.
ahead.
Yes, your friend has an accumulated about 500 years to handle still.
Oh, don't tell me that I'll have to wait that long. Time works differently here, right?
Time works differently here. And they grin.
Differently in the good way, as in we'll only need to wait like 5 minutes?
We'll see. Faye? How's Faye doing?
Fuck, dog. It'll get heavier as it goes, huh? Thing is, like, I think that these experiences are initially extremely disorienting and super difficult, but there's so much time to adjust and to learn and to balance out and to understand and to make sense of the disorienting. I think it's turning her more zen than she used to be.
Good.
Yeah, I think she's spending a lot of time. You know, on one hand, she's living through lifetimes, but on the other hand, she doesn't have agency, so she just has time to think and to consider. And I think it's just making her more mindful.
Well, that's partially true. Because in reality, you feel in these moments that these decisions, that these things that have already happened, they're still your choices. They're still things that you are doing. And you have consideration for every opportunity that comes your way to potentially do something else. And even though it has already been dictated what you will choose, it still feels like a conclusion that you're coming to.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, the next one is nice because you are living in a very small village with people who love you, and with a mother who would do anything to protect you and cares more for you than anything, who wants nothing more than to see the city prosper, and has sacrificed a lot for that. She's lost her husband, and she has lost her own freedoms, and has sworn herself to a goddess of peace, and does everything in her power in every waking moment to hold peace. And it's very fortunate that the people who are around you also so badly want that they are willing to jump through hoops to appease the gods. And truthfully, the instruction and the rules are not challenging to abide by, particularly for you, especially for you. Particularly because you're told right from birth that you are designed by the gods and blessed by the gods, and in truth, nothing you can do is against their will. But that does mean you have to know their will still. And knowing so distinctly that the power that is within you, that you don't even have mastery of, but substantial control over, even before you can walk, is a sight to behold and a cause for some fear and concern that your mother does her best to reassure the people that you will not be raised in a place and in an environment where the potential that you have will either be wasted or become destructive. And because everyone wants to create such a charming and blessing of a person within their community, again, people will jump through hoops to create that environment. You are well educated. You don't have to lift a finger if you don't want to, but you do. You want to engage with these people, and you want to help them, and you learn how to create magic and channel magic to help people, and you become beloved and respected and cared for even at a very young age. And it's not weird, because you are doing good, they are doing good, and sometimes you feel a little bit uncomfortable with how ever present sometimes the villagers are in your home, and how desperately sometimes they want to be with you. And sometimes, you are raised to be a good and upstanding person, and so their adoration can be uncomfortable. And it is difficult to find a moment to yourself. And it is difficult to have a moment where you can have an earnest conversation with your mother that is not being listened in on, where she can express that she knows that whatever you are must be divine, because this city has suffered through so much before you were born, and has prospered so much since you were born. There is no way that you are not sacred, holy, and special. But there is no way to know where you've come from. And you must figure out where you are from and where you are supposed to go. And so your mother begins the long and arduous, challenging process of teaching you to connect with the divine. And she is very well versed in this herself, but only through the goddess of peace. And it quickly becomes apparent that that is not who you are supposed to connect with, because the same rituals, the same practices don't connect correctly. And eventually, once you have grown some. She watches as you work your magic, you heal someone and assist others in the city and gain their respect and their love and their admiration, and tells you that it is time for you to know where you come from, and that is apparently, as much as it truly breaks her heart, something she cannot help you do. And you experience for the first time being alone. She takes you into the woods, not far from the city, and draws a circle in the dirt and tells you that she will be here to protect you, but this is yours, and this is a path that you have to walk by yourself, and she will not be allowed to interfere. And she turns her back on you, and she walks away. And you sit within the circle and wait, and you don't know what to do. You try praying, and prayer doesn't work. And you try meditating, and that doesn't work. And you see the sun begin to set, and you begin to let your mind wander and keep having to snap back, trying to stay focused. And then the sun goes down, and then the sun comes up, and you feel hungry. You've never wanted for anything before, but now you would very much like to move, to eat, to sleep. And you can't. You know you can't, because then you would be failing. And that's one thing that you have never done, and you are not about to start doing that now. And time passes. Days, it feels like. And it's hard to keep track because eventually you become so hungry and thirsty you don't see correctly. And you watch things in the woods move around you. You don't do anything. You watch the stars move over you. You just sit there. And there is a moment where you want to just die, because if you die, then you have not failed. You just didn't do exactly what you were supposed to do, you suppose. And in that moment, the earth around you, the grass, dries and withers. And it's a terrifying moment, because you did not mean for that to happen. You know this is something you can do. You know very much that this is not something you should do. You are supposed to bring life and light. And you try very hard to put it back into the earth. And as you put your hands to the grass to heal where you have hurt, your hands fall through the earth, and then the rest of you follows. And you drift through the soil that moves away in parts, and you feel like you must be hallucinating before you see a light at the end of this tunnel of earth around you. And through that tunnel, above you, stand massive, dark red trees with brilliant foliage. And you hear the sounds of creatures around you. You feel your heart race. Everything around you is gigantic and mysterious and different. The air smells different. The sky is so different. You are somewhere else entirely. Your eyes flicker everywhere, trying to find anything that might pass as familiar. And the light from the sun catches off of something brilliantly reflective. You turn to get a better look, and there is a silvered shield embossed with the rising sun that is ignited in golden flame and light from the stars and from the sun. And you go to it, you touch it, you feel the warmth of the sun-warmed metal, and find yourself back on the ground in that circle of dead grass with the shield still in your hands. And then you fall unconscious from exhaustion. And then, finally... Oh, wait. Can't save.
I'll spend some inspiration on that. Not better.
One better.
Technically better.
One better. I should change for that up to 20.
Making it a 20? Okay.
You are trending lower as you go.
I sure am.
Yeah, all these lifetimes take their toll.
Yeah.
Truly, truly do.
Fortunately
this
for
one
you...
was short.
Yeah, fortunately for you, that one feels leagues and leagues and leagues shorter than the last one.
Yeah, that follows, yeah.
Okay. You next awaken on a stone and earthen slab with someone kicking you in the ribs. And when you sit up, you are in the most familiar and comfortable place that exists in a world of frustration. There is folks all around you, barking and chattering and preparing as they wake up for their shift of the day. And you recall what today brings and represents for you. And so you strap on some leathers. You take a moment to try to readjust the crippled and broken and half limbs on the back of on your back, so that they are not as uncomfortable as they could be. And with your shoulders in and eyes down, you move through the tunnels to meet up with the others of your group for your quest for the day, your designated mission, your special trip. And the whole time you are walking, you go over and over and over again these steps of what is to come. The long trek, the passing of the delivery, and the small possibility of relief. But you'll see. You might not make it that far, and you know that. And as you're walking, your eyes happen to catch the Warrens, the tunnel to the Warrens, the Rookery, and you see another like you, who is in not as good of a way as you are in many aspects. But people like him for some reason. He gets along well with the young ones, and the others find use for him. And the allyship that you have with this individual, because of the painful position that the both of you happen to hold, in this moment just rubs you the wrong way, because what for him represents as disability to the point where he is allowed to stay here and be protected is actually the cause of your vulnerability and possible chance of death today, and twice before in your past. Anyway, you meet with the others, and each of you are assigned a weighted and heavy pack filled with a dark, heavy, sloshing liquid. And you recall better than anyone, as you have made this trip more than anyone, the best way out of the mountains and across the fallen lands to a horrible place. Immediately upon leaving the caverns, you are dazzled by the setting sun. It hurts to even look at as it sets, but the sooner you set out, the sooner you can be returning. At least the others. The trek takes some time, and it is painful, frustrating. You must rest during the day, and someone must watch, and eventually it becomes night again, and you continue walking. The others seem proud of the position they have found themselves in, because in many degrees this is regarded as a tremendous honor, but you understand the risk that this represents, and you have seen many who have not been able to keep level head and have died because of their overestimation of their own will. Eventually, the tower above you casts a deep shadow even at night that just causes you to freeze. There's something about fear that just causes you to freeze. You are not the only one who does, but eventually you have to swallow this fear and enter this dilapidated building. Everything goes smoothly, sort of. It takes all your courage to keep your knees from buckling as you set down your pack and avoid the gaze of the hovering behemoth, the slimy, coarse monstrosity with its leering gaze, its drooling maw that could slice you in half without hardly flexing. And another kobold again overestimates themselves and panics, and one look from one of the many eyes off of this beast, and they are simply dust. And in that moment, there is a quiet pride, or something that is grateful that you do not run when you are scared, but you can only freeze. And that feeling makes you feel ill. And on the return trip, you volunteer to watch during the day. And it sucks because being in the sunlight is miserable. It's hard to see, it's hard to think, it's frustrating. But you sit and watch and wait until the others finally fall asleep, and then quietly, carefully creep away. And pray that the others will just assume you panicked and ran and that you're dead. You might be in a few hours anyway, you don't know. And then you hear some voices a little ways away, behind some stones and boulders. Just to be safe, you go to check on them. Each of them is wearing dazzling white armor carved with unfamiliar crests and marks. They're resting and eating and laughing and talking. And before you have a chance to duck again, one of them meets your gaze, and that frozen fear strikes, and you panic and don't move. And then the one that has noticed you nudges another. They all look towards you. You still can't move. Then one of them, who is 3 times your height, stands and walks over towards you. You want more than anything to be able to flee, but every muscle is stone. And Then this Goliath kneels down next to you, meets you at your eye level, and speaks in a tone that seems personable, but you don't understand. They try speaking again, but again, it sounds different, but you don't know what they're saying. They look over at someone who says something, and then he returns to you and speaks in a language you finally understand, and with all of the energy that you can muster, you manage to nod in acknowledgement. And then the Goliath grins and begins to speak to you in your language, falteringly, but you can understand. You are promised that you are in no harms, you are not in harm's way, and you are invited to come and sit with them, and that you look hungry and tired. And you are. And you think of the others who are behind you, and with guilt so sour you feel like you could be sick, you come closer. And time passes, days, weeks maybe. You don't feel like it is necessary to keep track anymore. The memories of your home, everything that you have known, recalling them hurts and cuts so much deeper now that you have known kindness and generosity from these heroes who wanted to save you in some way, in some small way. And lying in bed, you practice carving your runic name in the dirt over and over and over and over again, because it is the most precious thing in your possession. Your language skills are improving, as well as your martial skills, but it's very slow. It's so slow that you are sick with frustration at how hard it is to speak, communicate, keep up, fight. Even in practice with their patience, you feel as if you are never going to be enough for them. You drag your claw through the dirt and write your name over and over and over. And this is the one symbol, the one thing that causes you to feel joy, which is so unfamiliar that it hurts. And even the muscles that create a smile in your face are sore with just thinking about their kindness. You think also of the planning, the tactical skill, and the effort that you are putting in mentally to assist these people. They want to help you, and they want to help your brothers and your sisters. And that means that you are going to have to hurt them. And that is hard to accept. So you've drawn out the tunnels and marked the traps and hazards thousands of times. The Goliath has reassured you over and over that you should be proud of what you're doing, but it is hard to take that seriously. Proud or not, you are leading the way into the dragon's den. Before you know it, after the sun has risen, you are standing before your Lord. You have lived in fear and awe of this incredible beast your entire life and have risked your own skin so many times and given everything but your secret name to him. And now you are the marker for his death. And once again, you can barely get your feet to move. The other heroes have thrown themselves into the path of flames and strike with violent accuracy. Gleaming armor are reflecting and reflect the firelight and burn your eyes. Runes ignite and magic unlike you have ever seen empowers their every attack. And the dragon fights back with sharp snapping jaws and claws that rake and wings that beat back his enemies. You still can't bring yourself to move until the Goliath falls. All else fades from your vision, except for the gleam of a vial on his belt. You sprint forward. The heat of the hellfire is above you, and you fight through your terror. You snatch the vial. A moment later, he stirs, and you feel your eyes stinging, either from the smoke or from exuberance. He grins, he hands you a spear, and he gets to his feet. And you feel a weight in your chest lift. And time passes, and there is much that is lost in that time, and there is much acceptance in that time. You feel numb again in so many ways. And then there are people who sympathize with you and want to help you, but they are unfamiliar with you and what you want, where you're coming from, and you are unfamiliar with them, and you have to again begin learning a whole new culture, a new way of communicating. You can't find your voice for a very long time, and the weight of your inheritance is heavy on your back. Nothing you do feels good enough, strong enough, clear enough. You miss the patience and the language lessons and the compassionate heroism, and there are many nights that you go to bed feeling as if you have not done service to the people who have saved your life. And just as you are beginning to feel as if you have had the ground beneath you suddenly turn solid, once again you are face to face with your greatest foe and your greatest fear, another dragon who wants nothing more than to see you ripped to shreds. Now, even armed to the teeth and surrounded by allies, your legs are still frozen in place. You try so hard to swallow that fear and fight through the shaking muscles, but it's almost impossible. And then suddenly you find yourself on the ground, shaken, hurt. There is pain in every part of your body as you have taken in so much poison. And you look up as you are struggling to hold consciousness, and there is a fuzzy blur and a sharp snap as your ribs collapse, fold on themselves. The frail joints on your back shatter, and you are swallowed up in agony and failure. And the darkness closes, and all you see is black. And Faye, you are finally back in your own body. Can you make me one more con save?
I'm just gonna leave that one at 19.
Okay. There is just blackness around you. You feel for once you are suddenly back in your own body, which is not something that you had assumed would be something that you would ever have to notice. But through all the changes, all of the shapes you've taken, all of the beatings you have endured, all of the scorn you have faced, and all of the transformations you have been put through, it feels good to be home. But there is still something wrong. And you look at your hands, and they are weathered and aged. And there is below you a reflective, black, smooth stone surface where a small glimpse sees a gleaming white head of hair and wrinkled face. And an impression comes to you and asks you, what truth do you seek?
Well, shit, Doc.
Zira,
Yes.
the open tunnel, well, this path, eventually opens and leads you into a vast and white expanse with a similarly reflective stone floor. And you are asked the same question.
Sorry, one more time.
What truth do you seek?
Oh my. um. Goodness. Sorry.
Do you want me to go first?
Yes, please.
All right. I came here wanting perspective, but that I have gained through the most arduous means I could imagine. A blessing unlike which I was ever expecting. Now, I want a means of protection. There is a kind of cruelty that runs through all life, and I want to lessen that burden. I don't know what I need to know to do that, but whatever it is, I need it.
One moment. A soothing touch to your chest grants you calm emotions as a spell, as a domain spell for you. Once per day, you may cast it for free. There will be more coming. And you understand this. But there is a soothing expression that is granted to you that reassures you this pain is not for nothing, and you are doing right.
I think I want to cry and smile at the same time.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you and me both.
And how about Zira?
I seek some sort of not acceptance but agency, a way that instead of letting the pain and the happiness and everything pass me by, I can harness it and use it to its fullest potential, because that is why I was drawn to the Raven Queen. It is what she does. I aim to become more like that, as well as having more agency in my own life. Power.
Faye, don't worry, I'll be adding more to yours so it feels on par with this.
Oh, Bam?
Hmm?
It's fine.
Oh no, I'm planning. I have plans for more.
Even if you didn't, that'd be fine.
Zira, you are going to gain the feat Inspiring Leader.
Is what? Yo, shit. That's nice. Oh wow.
I can cast calm emotions twice per day for free, dog. I'm rolling it over here.
Yeah. I think. Did did Song make it through with me? Did they? Or did they stop at the?
Do you turn to look?
Yeah, I do.
They're standing there, hands behind their back and smiling.
I'm going to attempt to approach them and give them like a big embrace if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a kiss on the forehead and just say, I'm so sorry I didn't ask for help when I needed it, but I thank you for pushing me in the right direction.
They smile, put a hand against your face.
You better not be going anywhere.
You're funny.
All right, now I'm going to turn away, crying, and return to next to Faye. Oh boy. Oh my. Cool, Inspiring Leader. That's a thing. Rad.
And Faye, the blackness around you dulls to gray. Zira, the whiteness tinges to a matching color, and you see each other facing each other now. And as soon as you see each other, you find yourself in a new place, in a room, no, in a hall, in an upper story of an inn, in a city just outside of Trollbart. And you are only about 5 feet away from each other.
Still crying.
Yeah.
Hey. I'm glad you're alive.
She almost looks like she doesn't. She isn't. She is.
It's not.
Faye looks old.
Like physically?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I'm gonna just like kneel down and just ask what happened.
5 lifetimes.
Oh, they weren't kidding. Holy shit.
Did you learn?
Yeah. I hope I did.
What did you learn?
Hard to put into words, Faye. More to not be so Zira, I should say. I've been kind of cold and all that just because I thought that's how I should operate, and finding out that I can just do whatever I want is freeing, and so I will.
That's not what I learned about you.
What do you mean?
I shake my head and decline to respond to that question.
Look,
You're valid. You're seen. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to make it hurt. You just have to ask.
And I will. I'm sorry for anything I caused.
No, don't apologize, you fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the world did what it did to you, and I'm sorry that I couldn't see it before, and I couldn't help. But I can now. So if you need anything, if you need to talk, I will be here to listen.
I appreciate that. I don't blame you for not seeing it. I hid it. It wasn't any fault of yours. I would have treated me the same way you did.
I was perceptive enough to notice, but not experienced enough to know. I have gained perspective.
5 lifetimes worth, apparently.
Yeah, what's the damage?
Hey,
I'm
DM,
gonna
what's the
fucking- I'm gonna
damage?
stretch out my hands.
You are wrinkled, weathered, worn. You see scars that were not there before. You feel still inside strong, powerful, and energized, but your body is beaten to fuck.
With her asking what's the damage, I'm going to immediately look around for a mirror in this room.
Yeah, there's one like at the end of the hall.
I will stand in front of it and look myself over. What's the damage, GM? Am I fine? Am I still hot?
That you're still hot.
Ah,
But-
thank fuck.
That hole in your chest, while it is healed, you still see where it was.
Oh, oh god. Okay. Cool
That
scars.
make me feel good about what you have to say.
What do you mean? Oh, do you want to see for yourself, or do you just
Oh,
want to
no,
tell me?
Yes.
You look pretty weathered. I don't know how you feel, but
I'm gonna push her out of the way and look in the mirror.
You look like you have aged upwards of 70 years.
Terrible? That's not terrible.
Your hair is still white, you're still wrinkled, there are spots on your face. And again, unfamiliar scars, though now that you're looking at them, you do recognize them because you received all of them before.
I sure did, didn't I? It's a good thing my fucking bones don't ache from all the fucking abuse that Razak takes. Yeah, I look it over and I feel each of the scars.
And your sending stone rings.
Hey, yo, ma.
I'm playing this out. Reached Eastwall, town werewolf friendly. Considering tribe dialogue attempt. Understand motivation for Decanter Alliance. Request estimated arrival. Time reference 12 hours past. How goes trial?
I send back
25 words.
Out in the hallway, dog.
walk
I love
outside
her so
your
much.
room.
You can hear people downstairs. You can go look around for them.
I'm gonna.
Arix, were you in the commons? Or Valor's in the commons, right? Where are you all?
I don't know. Are we all back in the room by this point? Have we finished our little day trips?
Orcs would have said
I'm-
that from her room rather than the common room.
Mm,
Yeah.
I believe we're done with day trips. I didn't have
Yeah.
anything particular in mind.
okay.
I'm gonna send back. Walk outside.
Yeah, we're all just sitting in there in the room.
Do you go outside?
Yeah, part of me
Yeah.
wanted to be like, The only response was go outside. What do you think that means? And just fuck around for a while, but no. No, Oryx will get up and poke her head out the door very confusedly. Look around. Hi, Zira. When
Hey.
did you get here?
Ah, you are not dead!
Time's a little wonky, but like recently, within the minutes. 5 minutes?
She looks down at a gnome who barely looks familiar. The armor and the hat may be the only true indicators that this is Fae.
Yeah, I got the Twilight motif, baby. I got a fucking revolver.
Yeah.
And I'm still carrying bad ones around.
Where has Ava been this entire time?
Chilling in the fucking material, walking around behind you guys, not doing
Yeah,
anything.
just prompt.
Oh, okay.
Next session is 4 hours of Ava's journey.
That's right, baby.
Homeward bound
I
style.
would love that.
We'll teach her the stories.
I think that if Faye ever dies, Lily's backup character, Ava the Warforged.
That's right. That's right. She's coming back with a vengeance.
I guess from inside we see Zyra and this old gnome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Valor will say, "Ah, Zyra, you are back. And who is this?"
I'm old now.
What do you mean?
I am old now. I have been aged.
Was this the desired outcome?
It was not, but it was a necessary side effect.
Did you find what you sought?
Yes.
So it went well then.
Better than I hoped.
What did you learn?
I feel one of the scars. I learned how to be a person 5 times over.
You didn't know how to do that before?
Don't know what that means. There are
Perhaps I
only
will have to
2
undergo this
rooms,
trial.
But you can have the bed in here with Pete. I'll sleep on the floor.
I'll take the floor.
No. It's
But-
fine.
No, you're going to sleep in a bed. You spent too many years sleeping on stone.
What?
Yeah. Sorry, I have an immense amount of insight into each of your personal pains. I lived them. And I've got the scars to prove it.
I'm sorry?
What do you mean?
I lived your lives. I lived them.
But
And
we're still living ours.
To a point. I lived generally from childhood through damage and pain until about now.
I did not have a childhood.
You were created. It felt the strangest. I know what it's like to be born, and I knew what it was like to be born, and what happened to you did not feel the same. It was like being turned on.
How do you remember?
Vividly.
What do you remember?
A man and a boy and his wife and a room and learning and sickness and loss and a deviation from protocol.
Yeah, I think like Valor is completely still, eyes dimmed. I do not recall.
You were made not to recall. I think. The master had pain in his face. He forced you to forget, I think. And then there are gaps. Like falling asleep at the wheel, waking up, being lucid, and then losing time.
To be awake, yes.
It was disorienting.
What do you remember of the time before? Do you
I
remember where I was? So I can go back there.
Or near a river, and creatures were trying to cross the river into the tower. You would stop them every day. I would stop them every day. One day, we failed. Or we thought we did. And there was a figure in the door, and we ended it and closed the door. We broke protocol. I think that was the first decision you ever made for yourself.
How much of that is ringing any kind of bell? Or like, what's the subjective like?
That feels as close to right as you can gather. It fills in a little bit of gaps,
Mhm.
but that's it.
It is missing. How did I break protocol?
You made a decision. You left the bank of the river. You were not supposed to. We were not supposed to. We chose to. And it was the first time we made a choice.
I do not understand.
From the moment you awoke, you were told the boy was your everything. So he was your everything. You were told to learn, so you learned. You were told to fight, so you fought. But once you were told to do something and actively opted not to, I don't know why, but I think it's why you don't remember. I think you were made to not remember. Perhaps in an effort to scrub whatever instinct that was out of you. But it didn't work.
But it is missing.
The time is missing, yes.
No.
What is missing?
I think Valor goes still for a long moment. It is an echo now.
The memory?
Not memory.
What is an echo?
I am an echo. I cannot remember.
You are no less an echo than any of us are. Because you change does not mean that you are less real.
You say I was made for the son of the master. I know this to be true. But it
Yes.
is missing.
Your directive?
Yes. It is not there.
Maybe it was taken with the memories.
I think like Valor's like whole form shudders a little, and for the first time, Valor like sinks into a sitting position on the floor. And, like the head bows and like the lights start to turn off in their eyes slightly, and like very softly you can hear like, it is incomplete.
Hey everybody, I got crunchy chicken.
Yes, please. I haven't eaten like forever.
Oh, hello. And Razik will sort of squat down, put his face real close to this old gnome, sort of staring. Like, oh, hi, Faye. Chicken?
Please.
Okay. Oh, Zero. You're both alive. That's nice.
Alive but changed.
That's sort of how life works.
Yes.
Okay, well, you should get some rest because we're going to talk to some werewolves tomorrow, and we may have to murder them all.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
I think Valor was having a moment here. I don't just want to be a little bit more respectful of that.
But what's wrong with Valor?
We're having a kind of heavy conversation about Valor's past.
At this point, you can like hear that the repetitions of like missing and incomplete have sped up to the point that it's just a low like whirring sound. Very quiet.
I'm just gonna go try to hug Valor from behind.
Yeah, at this point, like the lights are completely off. Valor's not really moving anymore. The sound is just kind of emanating, except now it sounds more like a hum.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh?
That's okay. It is okay.
Okay. Sounds like where we're gonna end it for tonight.